Hello all, welcome to lectures of energy audit and management. We are discussing unit 3 and in this particular lecture we are going to understand 2 points in your curriculum. The first point is what are the different incentives and penalties related to power factor which are provided in power which is a part of a power tariff, and then in link to that we are going to understand what is the concept of apparent energy tariff. Simultaneously there is apparent power tariff also. But before starting the actual discussion of incentives and penalties, I would like to just revise the concept of power factor. So as you all are aware, there are mainly two types of powers, that is, one is active power and another is reactive power. The combination of these two things which is converted into means the combination of these two is expressed as another type of power which is called as apparent power. Because I am talking in terms of tariff, you are aware that one unit, one billing unit in your electricity bill is equal to 1 kWh. So let us talk regarding these powers in terms of kilowatt instead of watts. So this I will express as kilowatt. This will be expressed as kVAR, and the combination of these two which is called as apparent power, which is nothing but kVA, is equal to, there is some vector relationship, that's why the magnitude is calculated in this manner. This is square of active power plus square of reactive power. So these things you are aware of. So let us move ahead with the discussion of power factor with respect to phasor diagram we will draw. Now another thing is very basic equation, power is equal to voltage into current. This you are aware of. Okay. So power factor is always defined as with respect to what is the phasor relationship between this voltage and current. You can express that with the help of sinusoidal wave also. Here I am trying to explain with the help of phasor diagram. So let us consider this is vector V, so which we are always taking as a reference vector, and then our aim is to show the angular relationship, that is what is the angle between voltage and current. Okay, this all discussion is in terms of alternating AC quantities, alternating current. Okay, because for a DC you are aware of there is no angle between voltage and current. So DC circuits are not having any discussion regarding power factor. We are discussing power factor always for AC circuits. Okay. Now, because there is some delay for the voltage and the current in between, that delay can be expressed as omega t, that is theta. You are aware of in electrical circuits, theta is equal to omega t. Okay, and this omega is nothing but angular frequency. So see, this is, if there is some time lag with respect to frequency and time lag, you can express that as an angular difference between voltage and current. Okay, and typically for power factor I can use the sign phi. Okay. Now one thing which can happen is this, there is no delay between, there is no lag between voltage and current, and the situation will be like this. So for this particular thing, you are calling that This is a unity power factor. Okay, unity power factor. Why? Because the definition of power factor is cos of angle between V and I. Now this angle between V and I is 0, so cos of 0 is 1. So that's why it is unity power factor. What happens for typically inductive circuits? If the circuit is purely inductive, your current will lag the voltage by 90 degree. Okay, and then this will be having 0 power factor. Okay, similarly for, so this is for purely inductive and this is purely capacitive. Here also you are having current leading the voltage by 90 degree. So again power factor is 0, but circuit behavior will be like a capacitive circuit. Here the circuit behavior is like a inductive circuit. For a demand side management, means for energy management, you can understand that we always want a unity power factor, because when a circuit is traveling towards a 0 power factor, more and more reactive power is required. More and more reactive power is required. Most of the loads in this world are inductive, so generally in earlier cases leading power factor was not given much importance, but nowadays in tariff regulations this has got an importance. We are going to discuss that in detail in further discussion. Here let us focus first on inductive power factor case. So more and more reactive power is required for the load. Your current will lag the voltage uh, with some higher angle, which will reach maximum up to 90 degree, which we are calling that as an inductive circuit. But this is not the case always. Your every circuit is having some resistance. Okay, so you may get a vectors like this. Okay, and your aim is to operate your circuit always on at a unity power factor. Okay, why? Because in another way, imagine your supply is giving you amount of power which is kVA. Okay, now if you see the vector relationship earlier, actually your kW is nothing but kVA cos phi. Okay, you can revise your basics and have this power triangle also, P, Q and S. So this is nothing but your kVA cos phi. This Q, kVA cos phi. This Q is nothing but kVA sin phi. kVA sin phi, and this will become your kVA as per Pythagoras theorem. So this cos phi component of kVA is nothing but your active power. Okay, plus kVA sin phi square. Okay, so this is active, this is reactive. So your target at load side is always to consume least reactive power, so that your kVA will be exactly equal to your active power. So whatever power is getting supplied to your load, which is actively converted for your use. Okay, and least reactive power is required. So now there are n number of techniques. If you are facing a low power factor issues, then you can improve your power factor with the help of putting parallel capacitor banks. So that all discussion is over there. You must have learned that in some other courses like basics of power systems or some utilization of electrical energy and all. Our focus for this discussion is how uh, the penalties and incentives you are getting for your energy bill, which are provided by some government authorities. Okay, so my aim was just to give you an idea about power factor. So let us go ahead and discuss what are the different penalties and incentives you are going to get when uh, you are considering your electricity bill, energy bill. So our further point of discussion is there are 2 points. One is penalties and another is incentives. So let us first discuss penalties for low power factor. Penalties for low power factor. So why there should be penalty for low power factor? That is the first point of discussion. Okay. For that you have to go back to again basics of power system rather, and you have to understand what is the overall philosophy of power supply. Okay, what is the overall philosophy of power supply? So we are getting power from generation system, which is transferred through transmission lines, and you are going to utilize that. So there are a number of loads, like types of loads: reactive, no, resistive load is over there, inductive load is over there. So demand of active and reactive power is always there. Okay, and there are a number of other reactive power demanding equipment in between, like your transformers, because their function is depending on electromagnetism. Your transmission lines are also requiring some reactive power. Okay, so at this end your active and reactive power both is getting supplied. So now I will talk this in terms of kVA, though it's a big generator. Let us talk in terms of kVA. So supplying thing is kVA over here. Useful thing for us is kW. Okay, so what happens generally, uh, there are two things by which you can have a reactive power. Either you can have this throughout the transmission line. Okay, or you can generate it locally. So there are two ways. First is reactive power supplied from source. Second thing is reactive power generated locally. So what happens when your demand of reactive power is there, while transferring this overall power from generation to source, if reactive power requirement is more, this reactive power blocks the overall path of active power flow, and lesser active power is transferred from one end to another end. So that is why your aim is always to generate reactive power locally, and more path uh, should be given to active power for transferring from generation to source. Okay, so that is why in this way, if reactive power requirement is higher, more transmission lines will be required. If you don't take proper actions, then lot of other technical issues will be there. Okay, so the importance is of active power is also there. Reactive power is also having importance as far as your transmission lines and other equipment are concerned. Okay, but what is useful for us is not reactive power, only active power. Reactive power is required for existence of electrical field, like electromagnetic actions. Okay, reactive power is required for induction motor or its working principle. But what we are getting in at the end, our use is always in terms of active power. Okay, so that is why from distribution company side, if you are utilizing energy at a lower power factor, it is considered as a sign of low efficiency utilization of electricity. Okay, so there is a penalty supplied or a penalty applied by uh, electricity utilities. That is, now I will be talking in terms of uh, state of Maharashtra. So that is a Mahadiscom, Maharashtra State Electricity Distribution Company. Okay, so now let us understand what are the penalties which are existing currently in Mahadiscom's tariff regulation. Okay, so whatever I am talking is with respect to electricity tariff regulation. Electricity tariff regulation with effect from 1st September 2018. Okay, and this tariff regulation is brought into action by MERC, that is Maharashtra Electricity Regulatory Commission. So tariff is decided by Maharashtra Electricity Regulatory Commission. Now, if you consider this and if you refer my earlier discussion of lagging power factor and leading power factor, okay, earlier in earlier cases there was a penalty for only lagging power factor. Okay, but with respect to this particular regulation, now Maharashtra has implemented penalty for leading power factor as well. Okay, so if you see the ranges of power factor, you will be penalized if you are having leading power factor as well as lagging power factor. Okay. Now, why this has been introduced, you will get a more idea when we will be discussing apparent energy billing system. Okay, apparent energy billing system. When we will discuss, you'll get a detailed idea regarding this penalty for low power factor. Okay. Now, incentives you will only get when your uh, power factor is in the band but which is lagging. Okay. So let us understand in detail what are the provisions for this penalties for low power factor. Okay. As I have discussed, penalty for low power factor is both in terms of now in Maharashtra penalty for leading as well as lag. This is the first thing to understand. Earlier, there were penalty is only for lagging power factor. So penalty for leading power factor will be applicable as a first step towards KVAH billing. So this is apparent energy billing Maharashtra wants to implement. So this is the first step. Okay. Now this Maharashtra State Electricity Regulatory Commission has decided to reduce the existing uh, power factor related incentives penalties by 50%. Okay, so earlier whatever was existing, they have reduced the 50% incentive and penalty accordingly. Okay, now earlier case, so before this regulation, so maximum power factor incentive was 7% at unity power factor, which has been reduced to 3.5%. Okay, so what is the maximum power factor incentive? So incentive reduced to 3.5% from 7% in earlier regulation. In earlier regulation. Okay. So there is a typical band for which you can get this incentive. Okay. So what is the that particular band that I will tell you? So ranges for penalties. So let us first understand ranges for penalties and then we will go to ranges for incentives. Okay. So what is that range of penalty? So it starts from 0.895 to 0.9. Okay. So this power factor is considered as a 0.9 and there is no penalty for this. So this is a zero value. If your power factor goes below this, if your power factor goes for below this, for example, if your power factor is from 0.885 to 0.894, this is your power factor range is 0.89 and 1% penalty is applied to that. So in this manner, for every slot of 0.010, okay, so there are 10 slots like this, 1 2 3, so 10 slots like this, and your last power factor is 0.81 and 5% penalty is applied to that. Okay, now for incentives you can understand point up to, if your power factor is 0.9 there is no penalty. Like for incentive, your power factor has to go in the range of 0.951 to 0.954. Okay, so we can understand from this number, for zero point 0.9 there is no penalty. Like you will first time get incentive when your power factor is 0.95, rather it is also 0. Above this you have to get the power factor. So 0.955 to 0.964. Okay, like this there are 6 slots. Like this there are 6 slots. Your last slot will be 0.995 to 1. Your, as discussed earlier, your incentive will be getting will be 3.5%, which was earlier 7%. Okay, from this you can understand if your power factor lies between the range 0.9 to 0.95, there is neither a penalty nor incentive. So it's a neutral situation. Okay, if you are keeping your power factor above this value, this is also 0. Above this value you will be getting incentive every time 0.5%, like this, 0.5, then 1%, then 1.5, like that. Here if your power factor reduces in this band, you will be having values like this. Okay. These are the some of the incentives and penalties which are applicable now in our billing. Okay, and as I have discussed, there was a penalty only for lagging power factor earlier, so RKVA is lagging. Okay, but now there is a power factor related penalty for leading power factor also. Okay, and there is a separate regulation they have provided, which is a part of MERC order, which is easily available on the website of MAHDISCOM. You can refer that. So another point of discussion in this lecture is what is apparent energy billing. As I am discussing from the start of this lecture, we use simply active power. So ideally we have to pay for active power. Okay, but what happens then, because we have to pay for active power, the part of reactive power situation in the circuit is generally neglected and people start using energy at the lower power factor. Okay, why? Because ultimately we need not pay for reactive power, we don't pay attention towards that, and then distribution companies are investing into that, because when you are having transfer of both active and reactive power throughout the circuit, there are some losses also. You have to design your system accordingly, so there is always some investment when you are maintaining reactive power into the system. Okay, but end consumers are ultimately paying for active power, and then there was some financial issues also for distribution companies, because they are investing but they are not getting returns for their investment for reactive power. So considering that, as our earlier billing was simply in terms of kWh, okay, this was the earlier situation. Now our state also, like Maharashtra also, we want this billing in terms of kVAH, which is called as apparent energy. This is apparent energy. If you consider apparent power, then it will be kVA. Okay, so kVAH will be nothing but square root of kWh plus kVARH. So we are going to pay for reactive power as well, and this will give some serious attention towards reactive power utilization in the system, and consumers will try to utilize their power at higher and higher power factor. Okay, so this tariff, this kind of billing, this kind of tariff is going to help to improve the energy utilization efficiency. Means the consumers, end consumers will try to utilize your energy and energy at higher power factor, ideally unity power factor. This is one benefit. Okay, so another benefit is, because your reactive power demand is going to reduce, your more and more path will be given to active power throughout the circuit, and then overall infrastructure investment will go down. Okay, another benefit is, currently because of this presence of these terms like kWh, kVARH, there are terms like power factor and then RKVAH. In meter also there are some provisions. If simply we are going to have this apparent energy billing, okay, all these terms will go out, the complexity will go down, and final consumer will simply understand that we have to pay for this kVAH. So this is apparent energy billing. And some of the states before Maharashtra, they have already understood the importance of this and they have already applied this. I would like to quote some of the state names like Himachal Pradesh, Delhi, Punjab, then Haryana. They have already applied, means they have already brought this apparent energy billing system into their operation and they have already got the benefits of this. Okay. So as we were understanding that 1 unit of energy is 1 kWh, probably this definition we have to change after some years, uh, putting uh, penalty for leading power factor is the first step towards KVH, okay, in Maharashtra. But now probably this definition will be converted after some years. 1 unit is equal to 1 kVAH because we have to pay for our reactive power consumption also. Okay. So this is the concept behind apparent energy billing. So in this lecture, we understood what is the basics of power factor, what are the different incentives and penalties which are uh, applied in the state of Maharashtra, which are put by MERC, and we have also understood the basic concept of apparent energy billing. I will stop. Thank you.